Hello and welcome to today's episode of Ways to Better Living. As always, this is your host, Coolio, bringing you another topic of discussion, dealing with the topic laws, part 5. And today we're going to be dealing with what have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we'll be tackling, I was thinking of it earlier on. What should it be? Today, there's like few of them. Alright, let's tackle another common one, which people do get. This is involving driving, D.U.I. So, this should be interesting. Now, we all know what the D.U.I. Majority knows what it means, if not everyone. Meaning you driving under the influence. It could be alcohol or drugs. And there's another one that usually gets into the drug section, which is marijuana, but personally I do not put it in that classification, but it is under it as well. So with that said, even though the D.U.I. is general, driving under the influence, so when you think about that, it can be anything. You cannot be on drugs or alcohol, but you can be under the influence. So, but according to the law itself, it's mostly for drugs and alcohol. That's what that charge is there for. So let's explore it a little bit. So, majority of the time, how they do get people on that charge is by them involving in an accident, and other times it's just simple with them doing checks on the road, and they see that they'll be able to notice few people who pretty much will be driving in a manner where they can know they're under the influence of some sort of drugs or alcohol. Other times it's common, which people who go out to the bars or clubs will tell that they always have, sometimes, it's not all the time, they will have just a marked police vehicle, but sometimes it's unmarked where you will not know, and these ones will notice people who coming out based on their appearance. They can tell whether they're under the influence of alcohol, and if they see them jump in a vehicle, they will call a marked vehicle to come and pull them over and check, or sometimes the unmarked vehicle will pull you over. So this is how they get people on that D.U.I. But it is not the most common. Is involving in an accident. Then that will how it comes out, which is a lot of the time. So with this law, one sees it as something beneficial to keep the public safe, and even people in the public will say yes, it's but then even in the public, people they will know that, but they'll still do it anyways. Why? Well, just as we've been discussing, basically, since the whole law is there to protect certain individuals, and we see in the law though this particular law, they always scrutinize it, and sometimes it seems like it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. But the one aspect of it where I will focus on is when you got charged with DUI. Sometimes, nowadays in the States, I'm not gonna go too much on that because they might have it differently, but you do lose your license no matter what. That's what they do. So you lose your license, not allowed to drive, and if you caught driving, then chances are you go to jail. But still, people got a way of not going to jail, where you are fined. And with the way the world is, like, you've been fined for it, what happened? Because people think, oh, money is nothing, so I don't care. Work and pay it off and forget about it and go do it again. So in this case, remember, you build people to keep going against, and in doing this, you're not setting precedent in for people to abide by such. And we hear a lot of you that watch TV see about ads to stop drinking and driving or get high and drive. All this ad there, so you're seeing it. And with this is to help. They said they want to better so that too many people won't be dying from drunk drivers and all this and blah 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 blah. So here at this point, I'm not gonna give you any suggestion yet of all these laws. I'm just giving you as to how it is in the system. And in this way, you look at some people that the ones that they do give the most difficult times when it comes to this law is people who barely, when I mean barely under the influence, and they make it such a big deal for you at that point as to the ones who've been doing it constantly. But mind you, like I've been doing, all the laws, they got a loophole, and in this loophole, majority is there for the ones who are in positions. When I mean position, if you got a big business and you running it, you want that loophole is there for. If you're a government official that hold a higher position of whatever government place you work, this law is there to protect you. So all this the part that you see in the wrong and what the system does. So, and I will not give you all the example of the ones you've had about in these positions that don't break any of these laws that I've given you so far, but yet still they pretty much, people say they just got a slap on the wrist. But others that will be minor, they ready to lock them up for years. Said they teaching them, showing an example of why not to do it. So basically, just like any other one, that's how this law goes. And as you see it, you understand, this helps you in the way you go on with life. And well, pretty much to avoid any of these laws, there's one thing you're gonna have to do, and that's very, very difficult to do, even though these days that's what you're seeing in the world. Get your home business and stay home and not leave your house, because this way it protects you majority of the time, not always, but in so many of these laws that you can be able to avoid. But that doesn't bring connection in society, so we already see the downside on that as this time. That's what's going on right now in the world and what you're seeing. So with that said, this is where I will stop for this law, since there's not much to say about it and how it is in the system, besides the general that I've already given you, that you can apply to every single law, which is the reason behind it and how, it's there for, and all this stuff. So, as always, this is your host Coolio, saying God bless and have a wonderful time. Vision.